afternoon, everyone. Thanks for your patience. We are almost getting there. All right. Fran, nice to share the stage with you.
Same here.
Looking forward to this conversation. Let me get us started, right? We have heard a lot about change management today. I'd like to get your perspective on how you approach change management in this era of AI.
Thanks, Bhaskar, and thank you so much to the organizers for having me here today. Good afternoon. Change management is obviously absolutely critical, not only in the context of AI, but I think technology more broadly. And where I like to start is really deeply understanding the needs and the pain points of users, whether they're internal users or external customers. Because once you really can help solve a massive pain point for somebody, adoption, like really good product market fit, becomes something that is much easier to do. And so really falling in love with the problem first and not the solution is a big mantra of mine. I think there's also something to say about seamless user experiences. So for example, if this is for internal users, to really deeply integrate this into existing workflows that are intuitive for the internal users and not to build yet another tool or dashboard or AI system that sits separately away from that. And then finally, something I would like to call out is how to communicate about change. Because as we all know, there's a lot of change going on, especially with the dynamic ecosystem around AI. And so as leaders, we tend to talk about the change that is about to occur. I think in change management, it's equally important to talk about what will stay the same, because this will give individuals an anchor and an area to hold on to as they're experiencing change. But I think back to kind of you've obviously also had change recently in your career. Congratulations on stepping into a completely new industry. So I'm very curious to hear from you. What change are you driving through data science and artificial intelligence?
Yeah, I mean, I joined Dow Jones about a year and a half back, right, to modernize our data and AI capabilities. I had spent close to 2 decades in financial services prior to this, so this was like a big industry shift for me. And Dow Jones, as you know, right, it's a media company. We are a company of news, data, intelligence to all of our B2C and B2B clients. Wall Street Journal is our marquee consumer brand, right? So coming to this new industry, it was different, but it was also imperative to get the right team in place quickly, which we were able to. Then getting all the roadmap and alignment with C-suite in terms of your vision, your roadmap, and all of that was critical. Also, I think starting a new capability in a new organization, which like my experience has been, it's important to be able to get some quick wins out of the gate while you are building for the future, right? You need to be able to do both. Organizations do not have patience for only the long-term stuff, right? We need to be able to do both. As they say, nose to the ground, eyes on the horizon, right? So that's has been my approach as well. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the fact that I report directly into the business has helped me a lot in terms of getting the necessary support, funding, all of that, right? So it's been a great change for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'd also like to ask you something around, you interact a lot with the board, right? And AI is a new concept, new capability. How do you communicate to the board regarding AI, right? How do you get things done? How do you talk to them about AI?
Yeah. So as we heard from Sanjeev earlier this morning, AI has become very much a board-level topic. And a few approaches that I have personally found very helpful is, number one, show demos. Demos about AI, what it can do, and very importantly, what it cannot do. And that really helps everyone stay very much grounded in the capability. The second thing I found very helpful is to build a maturity matrix. Really, this outlines the capability and readiness of an organization for artificial intelligence from many different dimensions. There is talent, culture, process, re-engineering, technology. We heard a lot about data governance and AI governance, security, et cetera. So really analyzing the organization, not only the data science or artificial intelligence organization, but really the entire company around this. And then numerically providing guidance on this. So for example, on a scale from 1 to 10, a company might be a 4 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. And this really easily gives a quick to understand headline number for the board. And then you can deep dive into various different dimensions accordingly. It also takes the emotion out of the equation as well and really grounds things into what can also become benchmarks later on, not only within the organization over time, but also comparing across various different industries, for example. And the final thing I always keep in mind is that many boards are comprised of individuals that are executives or used to be executives across other industries. And so they can bring a very diverse perspective into the room. And also to keep this in mind when showcasing, for example, demos or speaking about use cases, to have them very quickly and easily understandable and don't necessarily need 25 years of experience in this particular industry.
Interesting.
So with you ramping up the team, tell us a little bit about some of the use cases you have been driving across the organization, for example, around how to facilitate decision-making through data science and artificial intelligence or help with business growth.
Yeah. Again, and I mean, the one thing I'm realizing, right, switching industries, coming to a different organization, the kinds of problems we are solving here are not very different from what we were solving back in the other industry, right? So at the end of the day, we are still trying to essentially acquire our target audiences through the most cost-effective way, trying to engage and retain them for the long term, right? Making sure that all of our customers have very good experiences as they interact with our products. It's very similar, right, in terms of the problems we are trying to solve. So if I speak specifically about Dow Jones, right, we are building and scaling capabilities around dynamic price engines, next best recommendation engines. Actually, I have a colleague here who is actually doing that. We are also doing media mix tools, right? Media mix modeling tools. We are building things around forecasting for across the enterprise, right? Both finance and marketing and tech. All of us can use them. So these are just a few examples I'm taking in terms of how we are taking the leap in terms of enabling the organization to make better decisions with better tools. And then there are many more capabilities on the way.
Exciting.
Yeah. And Fran, right, if I may ask you around, you have been in the industries across industries for many years. You have seen the evolution of this space for a long time. How do you think the role of a data and technology leader has grown, evolved, especially in the recent years, right? With things moving so fast, it's what do you think their roles have evolved into now?
Yeah. I think the role of a CTO or Chief AI Officer or technology leader has quite considerably shifted over the last few years. A few years back, the role was mostly focused on technology. If I look at what my role entails today, I'm a business leader first and a technology leader second. And the role goes well beyond building or integrating solutions across the various different parts of the company, but also partnering with business stakeholders and the functional leaders on process mapping, process reengineering, cultural transformation, talent transformation, and various different other things. Really some of the core ingredients that we all discuss throughout the day that are so critical for the AI transition that are happening. So I've seen quite a significant shift. And I think one of the reasons is also that a lot of people are now seeing technology not only as a means to an end, but really as a revolutionary central capability that might in some instances even completely change the entire business model of an organization as well. So I think we're wearing more hats today. And that's also, I think, really exciting to have the opportunity to help shape the future of a company.
Exciting.
And perhaps speaking about future, Obviously, in this very dynamic environment that we're finding ourselves in, how do you future-proof an organization?
Yeah, I mean, AI, if you think of AI, right, all of us bucket many things into AI, but if you think of AI, be it in its traditional ML form or the new generative or agentic form, they are growth engines across many business functions, right? And it's imperative that we enable our organizations to move from intuition-based decision-making to data and science-based decision-making across all critical business decisions, right? I mean, it's table stakes now. If we don't do that, we are doomed, right? So we have to move there. If I think about our company, Dow Jones, right? We are both a B2C and a B2B company, and we have a large base of individual subscribers and also corporate clients engaging with our content, with our products on a day-to-day basis, right? If we don't use that data, if we don't use that available information to curate better content, better products, better experiences for them, then we'll be missing out on a growth lever, right? So we have to be able to do that. And that's exactly what we are trying to do, and that's exactly how I think we can ensure future growth, future-proofing, as you call it, right? So this is something we have to enable the organization. We have to educate in some cases. We have to drive, right? So essentially to be able to do that. So that's my perspective on that. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, Bhaskar. And thanks so much for sharing the stage today. We are at time, so we're going to wrap up here. But if you have any questions for us, we're going to stick around for happy hour later. So please feel free to find us. We'd love to have a conversation with you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.